got in trouble more than once. And well, I had trouble with grades one semester, got that fixed. But I had trouble because I was a very adventurous kind. Before I came to Mines, I met a friend named Chuck. I'll not give his last name. But he kept a book in high school on how to make explosives. He called it an explosives formulary. So he wrote down all the stuff that he learned how to make. So he taught his two friends how to make all these things. So we would do things like make mercury fulminate, which is used in blasting caps. We'd make that on the kitchen stove at home. And so when I came to Mines, I brought my own chemicals, and I was very able at making things that were bad. So I stored my own chemicals, and I decided, geez, they sell dynamite here. So I went down to one of the lumber yards. I don't remember if there were only 2 lumber yards in there. And all they required was your driver license. They didn't care whether you were a boy or girl or 15 or 20, I guess. I was probably 17 or maybe 18. I'm probably 18. And no, 17. And I bought a case of dynamite using only my driver license. It was like $12, and I had my own checking account, so I could write a check. And I bought a box of dynamite, case of dynamite. Okay. I brought it home, to the home being the norm, and I stuck it under my bed. And then I would sell it at 25 cents a stick to whoever wanted it. And I sold all of it eventually. So there were lots of students that were helping themselves, and you'd occasionally hear a big bang outside, and it was probably something that I'd sold them. Well, mostly going in the clay pits. And we would go down there and bury the dynamite under some dirt or rocks or someplace, and just to have a big explosion and throw a bunch of debris everywhere. We never blew it off in the dormitory. We set other things off in the dormitory. We did other terrible things in the dorm. But the dynamite never really got us into trouble. Without Mines, I probably would have been just another round in the revolver of life, so to speak. I'd been bang and that's it. Mines gave me, because I had a mind that was always plotting and thinking and scheming, and I had a drive that don't tell me I can't do something because I'll figure out how to do it. I wasn't the smartest, brightest lamp on the tree, but I knew how to take what I had and use it, and I did. And I left Mines as a graduate. I was going to go to work for a company that made rocket engines in Utah. I got a call from Rocky Flats plant up north of Denver, up north of Golden on Highway 93, and they said, "Would you like to come to work for us as a metallurgist?" And I did. I got the job. I'm going to say $465 a month. That's about as close as I can remember it. Because I remember I got a raise of $15 a month, and I was floored after I'd been there about 3 weeks. It was a cost of living raise. I was living on nothing, and so I had nothing plus $15. I got a good education in college. I had a very good high school education in that I studied journalism in my senior year instead of regular English. We had senior English. So I could write well, learned how to do that, and that bode me well because when I went to work I could write good technical reports for the Atomic Energy Commission, for Martin Marietta, and for other people for whom I worked. And I was driven just to be a good worker, and it paid off. I ran 2 or 3 factories. I ran several businesses for various companies, Martin Marietta for Dow Chemical. I was a plant manager of a plant in Aurora, Colorado. And it was all because Mines sort of put a bug in the back of your mind. This is another job. You don't want to be thought of as being bad. You work hard. One thing I was not afraid of was work. And I can remember working in some days, sometimes I worked up to 72 hours straight. I remember working at Rocky Flats 24 hours without taking a break because we had an experiment going on and I was there for the whole thing. I was not afraid of work and not afraid of getting in trouble once in a while. And then you go ask for help and somebody could help bail you out if you got in a jam. And you just had to have guts, and I had the guts. Occasionally I got in trouble with that, but Because, you know, you push back on the wrong boss, and sometimes he says, I am not your push button. But I succeeded, and I made a good living. I saved my money, and I was able to retire and be comfortable. But I enjoyed mines. I'm surprised I got through. The third and fourth years were simple. The second year was a hard one for me. I came from a really good high school, and I had no trouble with the first year of anything. The second year, I got into a physics class with a guy that, I think he was not a physics, he shouldn't have been a physics instructor. I could never understand him. And when I got to take the course over again, he was my teacher. Set a goal that's a little bit hard to reach and go after it and get serious and try to grab it, try to reach it. Because one of the biggest impacts you have is your personality and how you approach a job. Approach it with an analytical view. Don't take sides. Get in there and do your best, and you'll be surprised. If you really work on it, you can succeed. And I took care of a lot of really nasty jobs with a couple of companies where we couldn't get a product to work. We'd form a little group, 5 or 6 of us, and I'd say, well, this is Joe, you go do this, and Fred, you do that, and I'll do this. And we saved a tape recorder from being an absolute disaster by exactly that approach. We couldn't get it to work. The companies were labeling them dogs and shipping them back a tape recorder for $200,000 and said, we want our money back. We got them fixed. We got them working, and they were happy. Don't be too judgmental of what somebody else thinks. Figure out what they're doing first before you judge them. Because there are a lot of people that are kind of like, that guy kind of off the wall. It turned out they're pretty bright, they're pretty smart. It's like Adam Savage in the talk last night. I always thought he was kind of a dingbat. He worked for movie studios too long. He's a pretty smart guy, pretty savvy. And he said that to evolve evolution is iteration. Development of a product is iteration. You don't hit the product right on the head the first time. You keep working on it, eventually you get it to work. And I've failed big time a couple of times. And I was talking to a lady with a Slumberjay shirt on today, and I said, Slumberjay, I remember my boss said, can you fix this job? I said, boss, I can fix it. And the way I fixed it after trying for many months was we put it on a truck and hauled it to the dump. I said, we got to get out of the contract. It was just, we couldn't do it. Our facility just was not good enough to do it. And later I became plant manager of that factory.